Manchester United then Tuesday night back in the Champions League. Manchester United versus Basel at Old Trafford under the floodlights. Cannot wait to be back in that Champions League. Seems like an eternity since we last played in the competition. Playing against Swiss opposition for Manchester United. On paper, looks like a game that Manchester United should be favourites to get through. Get our first 3 points in the group. You want to win your first 3 or 4 games to make sure you qualified, then you can relax a bit more in the latter stages of the group. So Manchester United obviously going into this game on the back of that 2-2 draw with Stoke City, was a bit disappointed, wasn't too disheartened. I mean, some people are really angry over the result, but it's a 2-2 draw at Stoke. We knew it was going to be hard there. I knew it wasn't going to be easy. Some people thinking it was going to be a rollover. That's why they're probably so disappointed. But always going to Stoke, we hadn't won there for 4 previous visits, I think it was. So we hadn't won there since Sir Alex Ferguson last won there. So it was never going to be the easiest of games. And to be honest, we've still scored 2 goals. So we're in good goal scoring form. That is the positive. It's just them 2 stupid mistakes in that game that cost Manchester United the 3 points. Obviously Rashford keeping his goal scoring form up, and Lukaku has been in red hot form so far this season. That is the real positive, that we are scoring goals. So I think we can cut out them stupid defensive errors. We will be fine probably if we can continue to score goals, because last season it was the putting the ball in the back of the net was the main problem. Our defence overall the whole of last season wasn't bad. So, and I wouldn't expect there to be so many problems at Old Trafford for us against the Swiss opposition. I would expect Manchester United to have a lot of possession in this game, like we've done in previous games this season. That was just a bit worrying, that game though, when teams look to attack Manchester United. Are we actually good enough defensively? Jones obviously at fault for one of the errors. Jones can't play in this game, so Manchester United are really going to have to shuffle the pack for this game, because we've got 2 problems at centre back. We obviously changed it up in that game against Stoke City. I would expect players to come out and other players to come in for this game. Should be David Hare keeping his place in goal. Pulled off a decent save in that game against Stoke City. No reason to really bring Romero in, because we've got Burton Albion the following week where he can be given a run out. Now left back has been the problem for Manchester United. I would expect Daley Blind to come back and slip in there. A lot of criticism from Darmian playing there against Stoke, but we haven't got a lot of options at the moment. Hopefully Luke Shaw can get a run out against Burton Albion as well to get him back fit, and hopefully he can get back to his best. We're going to have to see Lindelof play with Chris Smalling. Lindelof will play for his first game of the Premier League. Really, I think he come on in the Super Cup against Real Madrid, but besides that hasn't featured at all for Manchester United, so it'd be nice to see him play alongside Chris Smalling. Chris Smalling hasn't had really any minutes at all for Manchester United, so we've got to change the pairing because Jones and Bay are both suspended. Valencia will keep his place at right back. Now it's going to be interesting to see what he does in the midfield. He'll probably go with Matic and Pogba again in midfield. Will he bring Juan Mata back into the starting lineup? Most likely. Mkhitaryan should keep his place in the team. You've then got probably Martial coming back into the team as well, and it will be obviously Romelu Lukaku up front. It's going to be some sort of lineup like that. Mkhitaryan may well start as well in the team. I would expect him to. He's got, I think, 5 assists in the Premier League this season, so started the season well in terms of his creative play. Hopefully he can get himself a couple of goals in the next few games, because it'd be nice to see him score some goals as well to add to his play. But I would expect probably Herrera to drop out as well. I was told that Marouane Fellaini was actually injured for that game against Stoke. Probably Jose Mourinho would have brought him on in that second half when we went 2-1 up, had he been available. Now I don't know if he's going to be fit enough for the bench, but we have got options for Manchester United. I would expect Marcus Rashford probably to be on the bench for this one, obviously with Martial coming into the team. So he's just going to chop and change a bit. We probably see a whole host of changes for that Burton Albion game as well. We haven't seen Michael Carrick yet, who was on the bench for that game against Stoke City. So we could potentially see him as well coming up in the future. But I'm hoping that this game, with this sort of roughly that sort of starting lineup, can get the job done against this Basel team. I don't know enough about this Basel team. They did play last season in the group stage. They got knocked out of the group stage. Arsenal and PSG got through the group. So I would expect Manchester United to beat these. They are one of the weakest, probably the weakest. One of them, the weakest sides in this group. Probably for me, probably the weakest, because I would expect CSK Moscow is going to be a difficult game, certainly away in Russia. And then we've got Benfica as well. So Manchester United should be looking to get through this group. And I'm hoping that if Manchester United can win the first few games, we're away at Russia in the second game. But that's not going to be easy. But Manchester United can win the first 2, 3 or even 4 games of this group, then we can relax a bit, maybe use some youth players, maybe give some other players a chance that haven't got so many minutes, the likes of Michael Carrick, Herrera, who haven't been given a lot of opportunity, Scott McTominay hasn't, Demi Mitchell hasn't got a lot of any game time so far this season, so there's a lot of minutes of players needed, and hopefully we can see that in the latter stages of this group stage with the fact that it is a decent group for Manchester United. So I'm expecting Manchester United to get over the line. I'm not expecting it to be a rollover, a sort of 5-6-0 game. Not at all. I think they're going to make it difficult. They're going to sit back, look to probably catch Manchester United on the break, because they're probably going to park the bus for the majority of the game, looking for openings when they can catch us on the break. But for me, at home at Old Trafford, we've got to be looking to at least get, I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory. We've got to be looking for at least that at home against these. Away from home, it's never ever easy going to any of these sort of sides. We've seen in the Europa League last season we struggled away from home, but in the group stage we actually won quite convincingly against a couple of the sides. So you would expect Manchester United to comfortably win this type of game, and then it's the away games that are going to be tricky. The ones that get in Russia and obviously Switzerland are going to be tricky, and we've also got to go to Portugal, so they're not going to be that easy. But I would love to get this group done and dusted out the way as quick as possible for Manchester United. I'm almost certain that Manchester United can win this group. Benfica obviously were the top seeded side in this group, but for me Manchester United got probably one of the best draws we could have got out of the group. So, I mean, we could have got some really difficult sides in the top parts of the likes of PSG and teams like that, but we didn't. So, really I'm pleased with this. Hopefully Manchester United can get that job done. I'm expecting goals. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and come on United.